The wedding hall was filled with laughter, clinking glasses, and the joyful chatter of family and friends. Everyone thought it was the happiest day of our lives, but under the surface, I was boiling inside. I had discovered my wife's affair just 2 days before the wedding, and instead of calling it off immediately, I chose to confront her in a way she would never forget. She looked radiant in her white dress, smiling at me as if nothing had happened, as if she hadn't been sneaking around with another man. My chest tightened when I looked at her, not with love anymore, but with betrayal. I kept my composure, smiling for the cameras, waiting for the right moment to reveal the truth. The time came when the host handed me the microphone for my wedding speech. Everyone expected me to praise my new wife, to speak of our love story, but I had other plans. I glanced around at the tables, her parents, my family, friends, and co-workers, all eagerly waiting. I cleared my throat, and instead of a toast, I began with, "Before I speak about love, I want to speak about honesty." Her smile faltered slightly, but she quickly forced it back on, thinking I was just nervous. I continued, "Marriage is about trust. But what happens when trust is already broken before it even begins?" The room grew quieter. She looked at me with wide eyes now, her hand tightening around her glass. I pulled out my phone and held it up. "I want everyone here to see the truth." While we were preparing for this wedding, while I was planning our future, she was busy sharing her time with someone else. Gasps erupted from the crowd as I played a video of her walking into a hotel with another man. Some guests covered their mouths, others stared at her in shock. Her face turned pale and she stood up, whispering harshly, "Stop this right now!" But I didn't stop. I looked directly at her and said, "No, you stop lying. You stop pretending. You made me look like a fool, but today, you'll be the one exposed." The room was silent except for the audio of her laughing with him in the background. I stopped the video and let the silence linger. My mother sat frozen in her chair, her father looked down in shame, and whispers filled the air. She tried to defend herself, stammering, "It's not what it looks like," but no one believed her. I placed the microphone back on the stand and said, "This wedding is over. I will not marry a liar, and I will not spend my life with someone who disrespects me like this." My voice was steady, though inside my heart was racing. She broke down, tears streaming down her face, but her apologies were drowned out by the murmurs of the crowd. Some people stood up to leave, embarrassed for her. Others glared at her with disgust. She reached for my arm, but I stepped back, refusing to let her touch me. I looked around at the guests, raising my glass one last time. "To the truth," I said coldly. "Better to know now than to suffer for years." I placed the glass down without drinking and walked away from the stage. Behind me, chaos erupted. Her bridesmaids tried to comfort her, her mother sobbed, and her father stormed out in anger. My friends followed me out, patting my back, whispering, "You did the right thing." But all I felt was emptiness. Outside the hall, the night air hit me like a wave. I breathed deeply, my hands trembling, not from regret, but from the release of everything I had been holding in. I had chosen dignity over humiliation, and though my heart ached, I knew I was free. That night, I didn't just walk away from a wedding. I walked away from betrayal, from lies, from a future that was already broken. And in the silence of the night, I promised myself that I would never let anyone make a fool of me again.